Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the next episode of the Tall and Back podcast. I'm back. We're joined by YouTuber Old Grandpa Joe today. How are you doing today, Joe?
I'm all right. I would ask you all how you are, but we've done this all off camera anyway. How are you lot doing, the listeners, the viewers?
And then obviously Will and Nathaniel are mainstays on pretty much every episode are with me again. You will have noticed that on the intro, we've still got the Charlie Spalding sponsor up. This is the last episode that he's sponsoring. Obviously, we have got a new one now. I'll talk about that now. It's called 6 Yards Out. So it's basically like a retro memorabilia website. You can request to have pretty much any kit. You can have CFAX results put on the side of mugs, cushions, pillows, phone cases, things like that. Decent prices. They've got 4.5 stars on Trustpilot. It's a great website. They've obviously just done a giveaway, free mug with this kind of style shirt, just given away to, I think, Hull Badgemen win it. So I think Daryl will be getting that from the Old Badgeman. Quite a surprising winner there. It was obviously picked by a random tweet generator thing. I don't know how they do it, but congrats to you guys for winning that, whoever ends up with it. So yeah, do give them a check out. Go over to their page, give them a follow, check the website, see what they've got, request a kit if you want one, and check them out. Obviously our mainstay is Hull City Retro, still representing. Old retro shirts made from 80s, 90s onwards. Kits that we all wish we could have had back in the day, but we don't. They will remake to good quality, got great customer service. There are a private members club, so you will have to go over and pay a membership fee to join. I think it's only £2 or something. But head over to them, give them a follow. Obviously, we've partnered with FanHub. Great app. It's just hit the top 10, I think, in the app charts. I think it hit number 9. Yeah, just gone over 20,000 members on it. It's getting better every time. The rewards are getting more. I think you get rewards now for just checking into games. There's free merchandise because they're partnered with the Terrace. You can obviously still win your 2 free tickets every month if you're in the top 3 of the leaderboard. You can find us. You can find Tigers, blah, blah, blah. The Aussie Tigers, everybody's on the content section, so go check that out. Make sure you're trying to read as much of it as you can because that all does contribute to your fan score on the leaderboards to win them tickets. So if you need a code to join, keep an eye out on our socials. We do get regular golden ticket codes. And then our last one, obviously. Yeah, and yeah, you're on it as well now, aren't you?
I was waiting for that.
Yeah, you're on FanHub. I forgot about that. We'll apologise there. Old Grandpa Joe is on FanHub as well, so you can find him on there. He has codes as well, so if we run out. Say that again, bud.
My ramblings.
Oh, well. How many followers have you got now? On subscribers?
I've just ticked over 1,800.
Not bad going, that.
Self-explanatory then.
A couple of days ago, the lads at school sent me something in our little group chat. It was like they'd found a TikTok. It was championship table by club's biggest fan channels or whatever, and I've managed to pull Hull City into 16th. So we'll take that.
That's not bad at all.
We'll take that.
Yeah. Old Grandpa Joe, the one sparing us up them chat.
At the end of the season, we'll absolutely take that.
Right, yes, so subscribe to Grandpa Joe as well. Obviously, contribute to that. Where we've only just gone over 100, so we'll catch up next week. And then our last one, obviously, we want you to support the Hull Badgemen, a group of volunteers. They do this not for profit. They literally put all the proceeds back into making top quality badges. They're not flimsy stuff, it is good stuff. You can buy membership fees and get discounts on future badges and things like that. And they are struggling at the minute. So if you can dip into your pockets and just pay like a £5 or something, do so and help save that tradition and get them back outside the ground hopefully soon. Maybe with the takeover, they'll sort of not charge them an extortionate fee for it.
We're outside the ground for the last game against Bristol. I saw them at the end of the walkway.
Was they?
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, well, that's good to see then. So obviously, if you do see them out and about, go have a chat to them before the game or something, because they work hard for what they do, and it's just literally for the benefit of us fans, not for them. They do it literally for not for profit at all. They're literally volunteers. So support them if you can. Right. So we'll talk about. Do you want to talk about your channel first, then, Joe, before we get into the City stuff? When did you start?
If you're up for that, sure. If you're up for that, I'm up for that. If you just want to dive straight into the Bristol City game, I'm up for that also.
Nah,
that's fine.
Joe.
No, yeah, we'll big you up. Come on, you're on here. So when did you start it, and what made you start it, kind of thing? What's your aims?
Properly, I'd say, because it was on and off a little bit for a few years, but I'd say the first year it was really like the sole ambition was the year we had Leonid Slutsky as manager at the start of the year. So we'd just been relegated from the Premier League. I thought, right, this is the sort of content I want to make. I tried it against Tottenham on the final day of the season before. It did well. So a few years younger than I am now, me thought, great, let's try this again. Because I've watched that sort of stuff on YouTube. I really engaged with it, so I thought I'll try it myself. It went pretty well. It was steady progress up until we played Wigan the other year and we lost 8-0. People really seemed to enjoy me screaming and shouting at my camera for 10 minutes. So that fared me quite well. Then from there, I've been on Radio Humberside a couple of times, Look North, ITV Calendar, and just kept growing. Yeah.
Good. I mean, to be fair, when you've got a hobby and it's something you enjoy doing and you're doing like as successful as you are, like you say, you come up to 2,000 subscribers, which is for us who have got about 114 or something, it's crazy numbers for.
We're catching up though.
But yeah, we're catching up slowly but surely.
I was at the same stage as you once. It's just. I don't want to patronise you, but it's just keep going.
Yeah, well, we'll certainly do so. I mean,
keep working hard.
Do you do vlogs, match previews? Is it just everything under the sun, or do you just stick
match previews, match day vlogs? If I don't go to the games, I just do a quick reaction to the game. I covered stuff about the takeover throughout the transfer windows. I'll start this again in January. I just cover all the rumours. I'm hopeful we'll have quite a few in January as a club. So, yeah. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, so anybody listening who's not seen old Grandpa Joe's YouTube channel, do head over to it, because obviously, it's not like you need to support, is it? 1,800 subscribers.
If you're new to the Hall and Back podcast as well, make sure you keep listening on YouTube. Subscribe. We're all friends here.
We'll jump into the Bristol City game then. So I think this is going to be a bit of a... See, because it's 6 unbeaten, so you'd think it'd be quite a positive one.
However...
But is there a sense, and I'll come to you first, Will, because I love asking you the more pessimistic questions.
Thank you. I wonder why.
Was it a point gained or 2 points dropped?
It was 2 points dropped because of when the equaliser came, but I think a draw, having thought about it for a day, I think a draw was probably the fair result, to be honest, based on the actual game itself. But it's a fucking killer blow, innit? Right at the death from a goal that probably shouldn't have happened because of an earlier foul, but we had the Birmingham goal that we should never have had, so it swings and roundabouts to an extent.
We were due one, because that was our first one we've conceded in the last 15 minutes, apparently, this season. We're the only club not to have done that before, so to go this long without conceding a goal in the 90th minute is quite good going, really.
Yeah.
And it was a bit of a perler, wasn't it? So
it was a nice finish by Mike James, to be fair.
Yeah. So for us, we had obviously George Honeyman got his 4th goal in six games. Is it 4th goal in 6 games? I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Ryan Longman scored his 2nd goal.
Longman played brilliantly.
I know, right? I've been saying it all along.
Daniel, but Longman is absolutely fantastic.
You know what?
Two of them now.
I'm not going to go to Nathaniel for this one. Joe, who played well against Bristol City?
I've said from the outset. I mean, when we first saw Longman against QPR, I thought, yeah, he wasn't great, but give him time. He's just come back from an injury. He's just come back from COVID. Give him a few weeks to get his fitness, and we'll go from there. We're playing in a system which suits the way he wants to play now, by the looks of things. Him and Lewis Potter look absolutely undroppable, and they're both absolutely flying.
Do we think maybe that the likes of because I personally think my man of the match was Sean McLaughlin.
Oh, yes. McLaughlin's an absolute tank.
Yeah,
I want to absolutely about McLaughlin.
He's absolutely brilliant.
When we're looking at players that are playing well at the minute, you've got George Honeyman when he's on fire. We're always going to do well because he's absolutely pivotal to what we do in terms of attacking, taking the ball forward. Longman's sort of been, Longman and KLP in a wing back position have kind of been revelations in what they do and their energy and the way that they help, sort of even in a defensive sense, which is weird, keeps us solid. But to me, I think when you look over, especially in a terms, when you're speaking about consistency, since Sean McLaughlin's been introduced to the side, and Nathan Baxter, because they were both kind of came in at the same time, didn't they? We've just looked so much better. I know we conceded 2 against Bristol. I mean, they were both kind of scrappy goals, really. It was a case of, like we say, we had a couple of decisions that could have gone our way that, the ball shouldn't have got there in the first place. Randall Williams should have held it in the corner rather than trying to take his man on, etc. But Sean McLaughlin, to me, I think is, I would say unsung hero, but he's getting a lot of praise on social media. Do you think? Oh, no. Do you think he's undroppable at the minute?
He's not that unsung.
Until
he's had that in the last 3 games.
No, we can't drop him. I mean,
when we've got Jones back, we'll see what happens there. But of the 3, I would not drop a single one of them because they're working so well. Bernard is doing his usual job. He wasn't great in the first half on Saturday, I thought, but the second half he picked himself up and was brilliant. McLaughlin is just, I don't have words. Words do not describe.
He's just ridiculously, he's just been so good.
And it was from the first game as well. Like even against Middlesbrough, he was a brick wall. And when he was,
came on for Jones.
Yeah, playing so well then, it was like sort of ironic saying, McLaughlin's a brick wall, but he's actually like same with Longman and same with Bernard as well. Like even though they're players we wouldn't have expected perhaps to be starting, they're, unironically being great. Like whenever, we're going on about McLaughlin being a brick wall, it's just amazing that he's suddenly come in and him and Baxter and Longman are just taking him to the championship like a duck to water.
And what I do like as well is how this system gives Jacob Greaves the license to just go and do whatever he wants.
Yeah. It's like having 2 wing backs.
He knows he has the cover, so he can push forward. The ball at his feet is, for me, his best asset.
It is, definitely.
He can drive forward with it. He can do whatever he wants because he knows he's got that security of McLaughlin and Bernard behind him. And he's got the choice of 2 solid keepers in either Ingram at the first half of the season so far, and Baxter since he's come in has been brilliant. Yeah.
I think in the current system that we're playing, because we obviously, like we say, you got the likes of Jacob Greaves, likes to get the ball to feet, drive it up the pitch. You've got Deshaun Bernard, who does the same on the other side. McLaughlin's kind of I think he's got a bit of Harry Maguire style about me, McLaughlin, personally. I don't know if anyone agrees. I think he's a bit of a...
That's not really a compliment anymore.
Well, no, our Harry Maguire.
Yeah, our Maguire.
Not Man United's Harry Maguire.
Our Maguire and the England Maguire.
Yeah.
Not the United Maguire.
He does look he's very professional in what he does. He's no nonsense. He's very effective at what he does. And it gives, like we say, the license for Greaves and Bernard to do what they do, because also, and probably the most important position on the pitch at the minute in this system, is that holding midfield role. Now, Richie Smallwood's in there at the minute. And do we think he is an unsung hero at the minute?
Yes.
Because
everyone will always bang the Tom Huddleston drum because he's Tom Huddleston. But Smallwood, I've said this from the outset, he does the job we need him to do for the team.
He does the dirty work.
He might not be able exactly. He might not be able to hit a ball from 35 yards and it test the keeper 9 times out of 10. He might not be able to spray a brilliant diagonal pass like Huddleston, but he gets himself about. He does the dirty work, and I said as soon as we got Honeyman back, Honeyman will improve Doherty, who wasn't great at the start of the season, and he'll also improve Smallwood. And look what's happened.
Well, I personally think it's the system that's benefited Smallwood. Because I think in the 4-3-3,
isn't there?
Yeah, in the 4-3-3, he's far too exposed. He's got too much ground to cover. And obviously with him not being the quickest of players, that was leading to us shipping in goals and putting a lot of pressure on the defence. But in this system, obviously we can make it a 5 at the back with 3 in midfield. But then attacking, it also helps us then create like 6 attacking players in Doherty, Honeyman, the 2 wing-backs, 2 strikers. It's helped us find a balance. And that defensive midfield role to me, and the role that Smallwood does, isn't getting enough recognition, because the way our centre-backs like to progress with the ball and take it out, he will act as that cover. He'll stay back and he'll slot into the back 3 whilst they're gone. But he is one of those players that I haven't seen getting as much praise as he probably should do. What I'll come to you about Nathaniel then is one player who's getting a little bit of criticism at the minute, and I want to know if you think he deserves it. And it's not the players that you're thinking about. It's not Malin Wilkes. We're gonna leave that discussion.
Yeah, no, but we have to talk about him though. We have to.
We will do.
It's
Just not yet. Not yet.
Good.
Not yet. But Josh Mcginnis now.
Yeah.
At the minute, he's a bit Marmite in the fan base, I think, because on one side he's there to do a job, which obviously as a striker is to score goals. But he's also that, like he was similar last season, to be our outlet up front to sort of, hold the ball up, bring other players into the game, take the pressure off in a defensive sense because he can hold the ball at his feet, kind of thing. Is he doing that? Is he rightfully getting criticised at the minute? What's your thoughts on Mcginnis?
Well, I think maybe if he had a semi-competent strike partner, he wouldn't get as much criticism, because if everyone hates Wilkes, then we're looking for Mcginnis as one of the strikers to do something. And if he's not scoring either, then he's going to get criticism as well. I think Eves has made an impact every time he's played this season, especially, against Bristol, he came on and created the second goal. So, you could switch him out, but really, I know this is a question about Mcginnis, but maybe he's going to blame Wilkes for everything that goes wrong now. He's the new blame Marshall. Just blame Wilkes.
He's the scapegoat, isn't he?
It's a scapegoat, exactly. Yeah. So
he's not tracking back. He's playing up front. Do you expect?
I was going to say, but is it justified? Is everything that's being said about him justified?
Not really.
I have a feeling he's a player who the team really appreciates.
Yeah.
Mcginnis. I have a feeling he's a player who the team really appreciate with what he does up front.
But the fans necessarily not.
Yeah, because I don't think the fans see exactly what, in general,
doesn't get any,
like a footballer does.
He doesn't get any chances, though, does he? Still, you look at the highlights, and it's never Mcginnis missing; it's Wilkes missing. So Mcginnis doesn't get the exactly, yeah. But I guess again, like we were saying that with the 4-3-3, maybe 2 years ago or a year ago, it's the wingers who get the chances. So although in League One Mcginnis did score a lot, he didn't get as many chances as the wingers. So maybe with the wing backs, it's them scoring the goals and it's Honeyman. So maybe Mcginnis isn't really getting a look in because of the system again.
Logic would say that if he's in the team to be sort of like the target man and the outlet to bring the other players into the game, if our midfielders and wing backs are the ones scoring the goals at the minute, that to me suggests that he's doing his job.
He's doing the job.
They're getting the ball in the areas that they need to be to score. Obviously, like we say, we haven't seen him have many chances.
So at the same time, we do seem to have a lot more up front when Eves and Smith came on.
Well, I was going to say, when those two came on, we immediately wanted to go for it again.
They were constantly running for every ball.
More impetus.
Honestly, Tyler Smith, me being at the south stand end, seeing that ball get past to the keeper, Smith just turns on his engine. I won't make an F1 reference because I'm still not too overjoyed.
Well, you already have now.
Yeah, but he was like he put his foot down. He was like Lewis Hamilton. He just went. In the 4-3-3, if we wanted a striker to fit in more with the wingers, we've got him there in Tyler Smith. And then, like you said, Nathaniel, Eves is just... He's clutch, isn't he?
Well, I mean,
I absolutely love him.
I mean, a lot of the City fans have said, and I mean, we've said on here before, we want to see Eves play up front alongside a Tyler Smith-style striker because we think that's where you're going to get the best out of Eves. And he dropped out the side in the squad for a bit. Was he injured or was he just dropped entirely?
Well, for Reading, he was injured.
Yeah.
For Millwall, he was there on the day because you saw him. Was it Millwall? Let me double check myself.
I don't know. But
it was
I think it was. I'm not 100%.
Yeah, it was Millwall. For Millwall, he was there, but just wasn't selected, and you got that photo of him sat on the subs bench on his phone. So
because I think he's especially now that we're playing two up front, I think Eves is the one that's probably
that's how he thrived Gillingham, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's deprived at the minute. I think he's the only player that I could justify has got a claim to be starting on a regular basis, especially as, like we say, Mcginnis isn't scoring. I mean, they can both do a similar job. Mcginnis isn't playing bad, but like we say, the sort of the new impetus we got when them two came up top together would be nice to start on the front foot in that way again. I mean, now that I say that, actually, it reminds me, in that game, do we think that when we went ahead, that we stopped sort of probing for that next goal and we kind of sat back and invited pressure?
A bit.
Probably. It's just nature, isn't it? It's just what you do. You can't help it. But, you're winning with a few minutes left, you're going to drop back. It was funny when it wasn't funny when we conceded the second goal, but Smallwood was the furthest player up the pitch for the first time in his career. So maybe if he'd been where he should have been for, his previous 15 years playing or however long, and maybe we wouldn't have conceded. #blame Smallwood.
We don't endorse that hashtag.
No, I don't endorse it.
What I want to pick up on is why for that free, why for when the ball got put back in the box, will we just sat on the 18-yard line, pushed them out?
I think it was Mcginnis trying to push them out, and they all just stood on the line. They didn't move.
People sat in the east stand said to me that the corner was offside or whatever, but at the end of the day, you've got to look at why are we just sitting on the 18-yard line, push forward, and in the situation that I think it was Randell Williams was in, where you could just boot it clear, just don't try and pass it out, just get rid of it.
I mean, we can't really begrudge officials in that game, really, considering that we probably got...
Oh, no, we can. They were shit.
I mean, that referee was shit in League One last year.
They were. Yeah. But we also was very fortunate at Reading and Birmingham.
The thing with the swings and roundabouts thing, which I even myself said earlier, is it's not really fair unless it happens against the same team.
That's right.
Yeah. Really, if Birmingham score a dodgy goal against us, then that's even.
Yeah, but Bristol, we haven't done anything bad to Bristol, have we?
Never. Not once.
They always take us back, Bristol.
Oh, well, actually, we did do something. I forgot.
No, we didn't. No, nothing, Nathaniel.
Something at Wembley, maybe?
It's just Dean Windass, What's he ever done to harm anyone? Give me a lift from Barbers the other week. Lovely bloke.
So that result then, that draw, like I said, takes us 6 unbeaten, 14 points from 18 available. But we did say, and you mentioned on Twitter, Nathaniel, that on this podcast before these 2 games, I asked if 2 draws would be good enough.
You jinxed it.
Yeah, well, you see. To be fair, I always do. Even if I should have tweeted that Wilkes was playing bad and he'd probably scored the winner. Because that always tends to happen. He scores within 5 minutes of me criticising Wilkes on Twitter. He does it all the time. It frustrates me. Because then I just have a flood of mentions because I've just called him crap and he's scored. But to me, we should have at least come out of these 2 games with 4 points. I think the draw against Reading was a good result. I think we should have beaten Bristol. But we can't really complain. Like we say, if you'd have said to us 6 games ago that we were going to go on a 6-game unbeaten run, we'd have all laughed. We look dead and buried. We look gone. I mean, obviously, like the change in the system's got a big part of that. Now that the wins have kind of stopped and we're starting drawing, we've got 3 tough games next. Do we think that teams have sort of figured us out now in this system? Because we've got Nottingham Forest who are on fire at the minute next.
What I just want to say before that, Ant, is this system, did this system change only come about like it did against Middlesbrough because of the lack of fullbacks? And now because we've got no Coyle and no Manuel, is that the only reason we're sticking with this?
Not going back to it,
Yeah, well, that's the worry with...
Will we find out?
Yeah, that's the worry with every City fan at the minute, isn't it? I mean, he obviously only played this system through necessity because of injury, but he did have a couple of opportunities, like when Elder came back kind of thing, to switch to 4 at the back, when we had Emmanuel and fit at the time, or Coyle, and he didn't do it then because I think he's seen that it's currently working. Now, we don't know, obviously, when we get a fully fit defence to pick from again.
From what I've been told, I was speaking to Louis Coyle just before the game the other day. Last time I said I saw any place before the game, I got crucified on Twitter. But I can promise you, I saw Louis Coyle driving in, get out of his car, and I asked him about his injury. I said, we're looking at February time as is being reported. He says, hopefully earlier. So
January then.
Yeah. And then Emmanuel. Does anyone know what happened to Josh?
Well, I think we're not supposed to know because it's otherwise they tell us.
To know, and that's fair enough if they don't want anyone to know.
Yeah. Someone said to me the other day though, I was early to the game. I saw someone you all may know, Matt, before the game.
Matt, who used to be on here.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
He came in mega early, and someone who always goes to the games mega early says that they saw Josh Emmanuel go to the game against Millwall, and they'd heard that it was some form of infection. Which, if it was that, it's very. I'm not going to speculate too much further than this, but if it's an infection, it's a lot saying that he fell ill in training because that can mean a hell of a lot of things.
And then saying anything,
that was the question.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think
it's a matter of privacy, isn't it? And we've got to respect.
Yeah, I mean, if the fans are due to know anything, they'll tell us. Well, the club will say something or Emmanuel himself, kind of thing. I can't imagine that. He's not playing. That's pretty much as we need to know, isn't it? Really, at the minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is a slight niggle at the back of the mind at the minute that. If, for example, Coyle does come back, let's speak hypothetically, we've got 2 fit fullbacks for each side to pick from. Obviously, we're now playing a 3-5-2 system with wing-backs, but you've got KLP and Longman playing as the wing-backs.
As well.
Yeah, so, you've got a few players that are going to be pushing for a start or claiming for a start, because we all know that Josh Emmanuel will probably be a very good wing-back. He's not going to be as attacking as what KLP is, kind of thing. He'll offer us some more defensive solidity, as would Coyle. Elder would probably be... I think a wing-back's a perfect position for Elder, actually, because when we play 4-3-3, he loves to bomb on. But he don't have that protection.
He played for us. He always loved to get forward, didn't he?
Yeah, but like we say, on current form, you can't really justify dropping anybody. But maybe a certain Mr. Wilkes.
He won't do that.
Good segue.
Sorry, Nathaniel, and I don't like to say it as well. I think it would be Longman.
What, the person who's just scored an absolute worldie and been playing man of the match performances last few games?
I think that's just the way
disgraceful. How dare you?
Probably wear his head because you won't drop Lewis Potter. No. You need someone on the right side, even when Wilkes was playing awfully in the 4-3-3, he didn't opt for Longman. And striker, you don't need to really bother about.
I don't know. Go back 3 or 4 games, I might have agreed with you, but the way Longman's playing at the minute, you can't. Mcginnis, he'd be crucified if he drops. I think the only reason that Wilkes actually gets.
I agree with you there.
What, you think Longman will be the first one to get chopped?
That's what I think.
I think he'd be the most. I think he'd be the most likely because he's who else can play in that position.
Well, because he's in one of the wing-back spots that would be up for contention, and he can't drop Lewis Potter. So,
He won a drop
unless Lewis
KLP.
Potter is sold in January, he's not getting dropped. Another contract saga like we had last year.
But I genuinely only think Malik Wilks is starting games because every now and again, when it gets to the point where you can justify dropping him, he scores. And it keeps him inside for another couple of games.
He's like Solskjaer when he was Man United manager. He's on the verge of sacking, then he'd get a win.
So I think Wilks, to me, if you're looking performance-wise, certainly, I don't even think he fits this system personally. The style of play he's trying to do this season, it doesn't work. I mean, we're saying this. He's obviously scored a couple of goals in the last month or so. It's one of them, innit? Because Wilks is that kind of player. He can be a passenger for 89 minutes and then score a goal. It's tough, but so we'll use this logic then. We'll move on to we've got Nottingham Forest next. Obviously in very good form. It's away.
Will it be a waste of money?
I don't know, because Forest away is always a good day. It's always a good day. Actually, no. Before we move on to Forest, we've got a video, haven't we, Will?
Oh yeah,
we've got a video from A.H. Robbins talk, who's going to give us a Bristol City perspective on the game. So we'll see if there's anything we can talk about from that.
Hello there, it's Annie here from the A.H. Robbins Talk YouTube channel, and I'm here to talk about the Hull City 2, Bristol City 2 game, which took place yesterday. I'm recording this on the Sunday. Yesterday at 3 o'clock. Hull take the lead, obviously, through Ryan Longman. It's a fantastic finish. Into our corner, Bentley gets a touch on it, and it's a fantastic finish by Longman. No debating that. We allow him to cut in very easily, and it's frustrating, really, because we make a decent start. We look like we could potentially get an early goal, but then we get done on the counter-attack. And Hull, huff and puff, City offer pretty much nothing. No shots on target in the first half, I think. And yeah, overall pretty poor, really, from City. Bristol City in the first half didn't really create much, and Hull were pretty good. And then early in the second half, I think 54 minutes, Antoine Semenyo equalises for City. His first shot hits the post, goes back out to him. Instinct. Nathan Baxter's helpless, really, in the situation. Just has to get some sort of a good connection on it, and he puts it into the back of the net. Antoine Semenyo, very impressed with him. He started the last 2 games coming back from injury. First goal of the season. So yeah, very happy with Antoine Semenyo. Hull take the lead. I think with 8 minutes to go, George Honeyman with a bit of a scrappy goal. A bit of a mess in the box. Honeyman pounces, beats Bentley. It's an initial brilliant save by Dan Bentley. And yeah, we just couldn't get any. We've had a problem all season of not taking the chances, and whenever we don't take chances, teams punish us, and that's the Championship. And Hull did that again. So fair play to Hull for punishing us then. We should have really got an equaliser before that. Then we get an equaliser in the 92nd minute, which I'll happily take, obviously, and it's a great finish from Matty James, puts it in the corner, and yeah, a bit of a scrappy one again, but look, I am not complaining whatsoever. It's a weird one, really, because Hull, I thought, were deserving of the 3 points, and did well up until the 92nd minute, where they should have got the 3 points. So yeah, they'll be disappointed. You'll be disappointed. But I think this result kind of shows where we lie in the table and how much of a inconsistent team we are. We don't look like we're going to finish in the top half. Very inconsistent, as I mentioned, and we look pretty helpless. Our form is pretty inconsistent. The table's pretty inconsistent. It's all very inconsistent, and it's the only word I can really use, inconsistent, because that's what we are. I've been also asked do to name a player that did well for Hull. And I thought Ryan Longman. It's either Ryan Longman or John Chaniman, there's 2 goal scorers for Hull, so I thought they pretty much bullied Zach Reiner down that right-hand side that for Longman, and Honeyman picking up pockets of space and really exploiting that and scoring the goal, obviously. I would also ask for a man of the match for City. I'm not really sure. I might just give it to Matty James because he scored the goal and he was pretty excellent in the middle of the park. Nigel Pearson obviously mentioned that we needed control in the middle of the pitch, and Matty James brought that, which I'd expect Matty James to bring because he's a fantastic footballer. Right, that's gone for 4 minutes, so I'm very sorry. It was a bit more than needed, but there we go. You get to see my face. But yeah, thank you, and yeah, it was a great game, and wish Hull luck. Wish Hull all the luck for the next rest of the season.
So inconsistent then. We'll take it from that. But Ryan Longman.
Yes, I celebrated in our little private chat when you said that, and I hoped you would say it. Yeah, but see, I mean, you got to listen to what these unbiased, opposition fans, because they know their stuff clearly.
I mean, the main point from that is that he said that we deserved the win. Obviously, scoring in the last minute when it was a bit of a sucker punch. But from his perspective as a Bristol City fan, he thought that we probably played quite well. And it was interesting to see that he mentions about like the sort of Honeyman-Longman partnership that because he can do that either side, Honeyman, and I think that's why he's so dangerous. That
he's got a
whichever side
with everyone.
Yeah, whichever side he tends to link up with. I don't know what my camera's doing. Whatever side he tends to link up with, it's just dangerous. It's a fullback's nightmare because, like you said, when Honeyman drifts into them little pockets of space, he's quite happy to go on the overlap, the underlap. He'll go anywhere, and it is a nightmare. So hopefully Honeyman stays fit because he's going to be crucial for us this season, especially in the form he's in.
Please stay fit, please.
I know. I mean, oh my God. The funny thing is...
Hold the damn camera and...
It's over again. For any audio listeners, when I went away earlier, it's because Ant's camera fell over and it's having an absolute nightmare again.
It actually is. Stay still. Right.
Hold it.
No, because then I'm like this all the time. Right. The main takeaway from that then, now that all the camera fiasco is over, is that Honeyman is brilliant, right? There was a question, though, that Honeyman stepping up from League One to Championship, would he be able to do it? Because obviously the first time we had him, he wasn't as effective, but we obviously used him in a different sort of system. He's playing a similar role to he was. You are?
It's the power of the long hair.
And, do you remember when Sunderland fans were telling us how shit he was?
Yeah.
And now look at them.
Well, I mean, a lot of City fans have said that though. The first season we had him in the Championship.
The first season, Honeyman. I want to like it, but he just runs around. And
he just buzzes about.
He's crucial. It's like I've said to when I spoke to Gabriel Sutton before. He's just the way he goes from box to box is so, especially in today's game, is so important for a team to have. And I think there'll be probably a couple of sides looking at. Probably inquiring about Honeyman in January because...
Go away.
It's not for sale.
They probably will. But obviously, him this season is going to be crucial to us staying up. Absolutely. So going into the Forest game then, what's our expectations? Are we happy with the draw?
Survival.
However, we the only team that has done better than us in the last 6 games is... Blackburn, who were playing after Forest, but really, Nottingham Forest should be fearing us.
If they still had Chris Hughton in charge, I'd be a lot more confident because they'd probably be lower than Derby.
They could have been, yeah. Honestly, could have been.
Really, that's really saying something.
But they play a similar system to us, don't they? They play a 3 at the back. Because I think their style, I think when you have 2 or 3 at the backs meet each other, it just leads to a really open game. And I think that at the moment, on current form, our defenders, if they're on top-notch form, then hopefully we can just score a couple and sort of hold them off and expect like a late second half barrage. In terms of team predictions then, and I'll open it to everybody actually. There's no point going one-on-one because it's going to be the same answer, I think.
Backstreet goal. I'll start it off.
Is there any, are we keeping the same team or who would you bring in? I mean, I think we've kind of already answered this one, haven't we?
I predict it will be no changes.
I drop Longman.
Now, I know you're joking. I
like him as well. No, personally, I'd make 2 changes, the 2 men up front.
Yeah. Exactly the same.
But it'll be the same team.
I was waiting for that answer. Because I do think I would like to see Eves and Tyler Smith have another go up front, especially in this system and in the current form we're in. Because I do think Eves has had a bit of bad luck at the minute. And obviously, like we said, Mcginnis
as well, that Tyler Smith still hasn't scored a goal for us.
No, he hasn't.
I think how much we rave about him and how we think, he should be playing. On the face of it, he's not scored.
At the same time, it's more his game time as he had.
Yeah, he hasn't played that much, but it's also his impact more. You know, he presses defenders, he creates problems, he wants to get in behind, he asks questions. It's kind of the stuff that Wilkes isn't doing. The only thing that Wilkes has done that Tyler Smith doesn't do is score so far. So that'll be why
That's
Wilkes.
what you want.
Well, yeah. I mean, we can talk for days and days about Wilkes and the headache that he gives any sort of manager because he's just incredibly frustrating because he's so gifted. I think the biggest frustration at the minute is he's just not playing the same style as he was last season. He's changed, he's bulked up, he's backing into defenders, he's not getting in behind. And we all know how good he can be. It's weird, isn't it, to think that he was our top scorer last season and we're starting criticising pretty much every episode. It doesn't sit right, does it? But
a story about Malik Wilkes actually. So after the Huddersfield game when we lost 2-0, I said in the video, my match day vlog, Malik Wilkes has been utterly awful this year. How is he still on the pitch? I said in my preview for the next game, Malik Wilkes has been complete and utter shit this season. I don't understand how he still plays 90 minutes every week. A few weeks later, I was at the open training session, and Malik asked me about YouTube. He said, I walked up to him and he goes, "Oh, Joe," like that. I'm thinking, oh, he knows my name. That's weird. So then he says, "You doing any more YouTubes?" I said, "Yeah, all the time, mate, all the time." He says, "Oh, I watch him every week." I just thought, wow, you're really brave.
But the thing I would just like to say now that Malik Wilkes is fantastic. Yeah. I love his wear.
Well, they came across in his interview after the Reading game, like he clearly doesn't take any of this criticism to heart. He's got 100% belief in his own abilities.
As a person, I think he's fucking great.
Yeah, as a bloke, he's brilliant.
He's fucking great.
Mcginnis.
But players all know that, you know, he knows himself he's not playing as good as he can do. And didn't he say after he put an Instagram post up or something where he said, you know, I know I'm not at my best, but I'm trying or something like that. It's you know, we maybe don't understand. There might be a couple of things off the field that's affecting his game, you know, but as fans, we are going to criticise what we see if it's worth criticising. And, you know, at the minute, his performance levels, because the team's playing so well, is sort of, I don't know, he's kind of
highlighted more.
Yeah, because he seems to be the only one who's not
anyone else is making.
Yeah, so, you know, we all want to see him hit his best form again and hit the ground running per se, but it just didn't seem to be happening for him this year. And maybe it's the injury sort of knocked his momentum off, kind of thing, at the beginning of the year and that. But yeah, we do want to see him get back to it. But I think he deserves a rest. And, you know, up front, you know, neither of them at the minute tend to be doing what we need them to do. So even Smith would be a very good option to at least try.
Well, Smith is in form because in the last couple of minutes he's just scored for the under-21s.
Who's he playing? Second of the game. I think that's his second.
So he's scoring for the under-23s.
Someone said to me before the game on Instagram, there's sort of like a Hull City like designers group chat which I'm in. because they're brilliant with all graphics and whatever. And this says they sent a photo of the under-23 team. Thought, wow, if just put if we lose this game, the under-23 should be folded. Because the team is our entire first.
Yeah,
it's the entire reserves of our first team.
It's 2 from Tyler Smith so far, 1 from Matt Smith.
Who?
Nathaniel
Williams.
I didn't know Matt Smith still played for us.
Who's Matt Smith? Never heard of
It's
him.
nice to see he's actually playing, to be fair, considering what was said previously by Grant.
I rate Matt Smith. He'd also be good in that sort of defensive midfield role, but obviously we've got Smallwood, Huddleston and Smith, but he could probably do the Doherty style thing as well, given chance. He is a bag of energy and he's just maybe not as dangerous in an attacking sense as Honeyman or Doc.
Some people would suggest play him up front because Malik Wilkes is playing so poorly.
Just play anyone up front.
I'll try that.
Huddleston at centre back.
Why not? Stick
so-
to
Right, so we'll go for score predictions then, because I like this bit because we're always wrong. Will, you first?
1-1.
Safe, like it. Joe?
Well, I'd just like to say I was about a minute off being right for Bristol City. And
I think I said 2-1 as well, actually, come to think of it.
Me too, I think, yeah. I say Chris Martin would score.
For Forest, I'm going to say 3-2 win.
Ooh.
Take that.
3 goals away from home. Optimistic, I like it. Nathaniel?
I might go for another 2-2, actually.
2-2.
Lovely Desmond.
So 2 draws and a win. I've got to be the pessimistic one now. I'm going to say 2-1 loss.
Covering
We've got one of everything then. We've got a draw, a win and a loss all included in the prediction. So one of us got to be right. Maybe not score-wise, but result-wise.
You watch the game, the game won't happen now.
Abandoned.
Yeah, get postponed. But after Forest, obviously, like Nathaniel mentioned, we've got Blackburn, who are also have just been Bournemouth away from home, which is a massive result. They're also on fire.
They've got the amazing Ben Berrington Diaz up front.
Yeah.
Just clinch in the first minute.
There was rumours that they're on about selling him for £25 million to someone in the Premier League. Ben Diaz.
I mean, I'd love to see that, to be honest.
I don't think that's
He's having
true.
such a good. I love him. Ever since he became Chilean, he's just turned into a completely different player.
He got a lot of stick, didn't he? Who was he at before? Was it Forest?
He was.
He used to say he was terrible. And he's
terrible at
then.
Blackburn.
Yeah, well. And then after that, Sheffield United, is it? Am I right there?
Yep.
It's Sheffield United, isn't it? So it's 3 results that realistically, 3 games that are going to be a struggle.
We could do Sheffield United easy.
Before this season, he'd scored a total of about, I think it was something like 15 goals in his career, or 16 goals overall. And this season, he's got 17.
Yeah.
So he's stepped it up a notch, Annie.
What a player.
Yeah.
So do we think then that game was the last of the Alam era?
Hopefully.
Maybe.
The director of football was there.
I do feel like we're saying it every week, though, which is concerning me.
Yeah. Well, no, because Baz did say that obviously it'd be a few weeks, even when the claiming not 606 came through, it was going to be a few.
I don't like it still going on. Just want rid of him now.
I know. Because obviously when January comes around, I think Peterborough winning's put a bit of unnecessary pressure on us, because if we get 3 bad results and they go on a run, we're sort of dragged back a bit.
They're rubbish.
Well, they just won.
We were. Yeah,
we were
rubbish.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to take up talking about 12 o'clock on Friday on Christmas Eve, just because that's when I leave work. So it'll be a nice way to start this Christmas holidays.
Yeah. Because your issue is... go on, Joe.
I'm hopeful that Boxing Day will be the first home game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Packed out stadium.
Oh yeah, 100%. If they can get it over the line in time and open the West Upper, 100%.
I think the one to look at for an attendance is probably the FA Cup game against Everton.
Everton, yeah.
Good prices though. What was it 15 quid for adults?
15 quid for adults.
Someone
obviously we're on BBC, aren't we?
And if the new guys are in, I think we could see a really good attendance on that one.
That should be full, really. No excuse not to with new owners and the Premier League team.
Well, if anyone that was boycotting the Alams and literally that was the only reason they're not attending games, then
they should be back.
Time for them to prove it, isn't it? So
I'm one of them, and I'm a backstabber.
I no longer want a full row to myself on the for myself and my dad in the south stand. There are between the two sets of stairs.
Joel, come and join me and Joel in the ultras in E2.
My mates always say that. It's not for me.
The ones that are getting segregated by the SMC.
Yes,
because they're all naughty.
Yeah, bringing Turkish flags, it's such a criminal offence.
I know, it's disgusting behaviour.
I'll actually ask that as one of the last topics then of this one, because obviously City teased us with a couple of statements that we all thought could potentially have been a takeover one, but one was the SMC.
Chip Spice.
Yeah, good old Chip Spice.
I'm not going
to lie, I wanted it. But they released a statement, the SMC, obviously saying that they've increased steward and police presence in the E12 area. Do you think it's just a bit daft? Are they really that bad there, Will? Are you a hooligan? What are you all doing?
I know why it happened. It's because in the games against Sheffield United and Middlesbrough, it kicked off. Particularly in the Sheffield United game when it actually ended with fans punching each other. Actually getting across between the stands. But for the most part, it's fine. I don't think it's needed.
But does it not seem knee-jerk? Because every now and again, you are going to get a game where it's going to be a bit more rough than the others. So, to me, to put that sort of presence there for every single home game doesn't make sense, because they weren't going to do it against Bristol City. There was only 200 of them. I don't think they were going to end up scrapping. So, it just, to me...
Actually, the Bristol game, it did seem a bit quieter. It did seem a bit quieter on the steward front. There was still quite a few there.
Do you think it affects the atmosphere at all?
No, not at all, because it's in E2, it's constant chanting. It's great. The atmosphere is bang on there.
That's all right then. Because I thought with them being there, it might sort of.
I don't think you can buy tickets for that area at the moment. I think you have to have a season ticket to get in that area.
You can't buy tickets.
I didn't think you could. I think everyone who's in there is season ticket holders.
Not seeing any fresh faces then.
No.
No, it's Stone Island hooligans like Will that.
It's a Stone Island job.
Will's getting his badge in for the out for the stewards. Get it on shoulder.
I will happily make it clear I own no Stone Island gear. I'm not a twat.
Not saying that everyone who wears them is a twat, obviously.
No, of course not.
I don't own one now. I don't know. I can't spend that amount of money on a jumper.
Exactly.
Oh, funny. If I've got 2 points now because you mentioned Stone Island. I can't imagine what the stewarding's going to be like on the gates when they have to check everyone's vaccine passports and negative.
Oh, sweet Jesus Christ! I forgot about that.
Yeah, because that is obviously the other statement in regards to
Because I'm under 16 and I've only had one jab, I can't log it with the NHS, so I've got to do an LFT every time I want to go to.
I'm all right. I've got mine. If you can see it, it's so bright.
Oh, I can steal it though. You could steal your passport. Put it on camera.
Everyone's screenshotting this now.
Yeah.
Cropping it.
Even the audio listeners are doing it.
Will checked in 10,000 times. But yeah, so that's obviously the other statement that came out. We went into Plan B for this Omicron variant. So they're bringing in vaccine passports or negative lateral flows the day before, I think it is, for games. Is it stadiums over 10,000 or attendance?
Yes, I think
we're all right for that.
Yeah. Maybe the takeovers come at the wrong time.
Don't say that ever.
No,
obviously didn't mean that. I'll go on record and say I really want this takeover to happen.
I'm just joking.
But exciting future, possibly. Obviously, the next 3 games will be tough. Let's see where we are in January. I think we've spoke about before what kind of players we'd probably want to see coming in the window.
Striker.
Yeah.
Centre back.
Striker and centre back. But Alfie Jones is still to come back.
Nah. Well, yeah, but we need the cover.
Jesse Sarfer.
He's out on loan, isn't he?
Recall Andy Smith.
He's playing tonight in the reserves. So he's not.
So is Andy Smith.
Yeah,
but he probably can do that though.
But we'd like a bit of experience.
Yeah,
maybe. So we have got covering them options with Arthur and them, but it's just again another couple of young defenders that have got to try and get used to the rough and tumble. Like, so Greaves had a couple of errors at the beginning of the season, didn't he? As he sort of found his feet. But yeah, striker probably would. We also. I'll ask you, Joe, because obviously you've not been on before. Is there anyone that you'd like let go? Is there anyone you'd like to see leave the club? Potentially, loan or permanent, either.
I'm kidding. I'm joking about the manager with letting the manager go. We'll leave him be for now. Changed it a few weeks ago, haven't I? But in terms of let go, I need to have a look at the squad list here. Hang on a sec.
Don't forget Matt Smith exists every other game.
Is there anyone you necessarily need to let go? I wouldn't really say so. I think we have got excessive cover in the central midfield area. It might just be a case of letting youngsters go out on loan again. You know, Josh Hines is already out there, as is Arter, as is Smith, Matty Jacob is. You know, it might be a case of getting one of either Cartwright or Robson alone for the second half of the year, just because we have such great young talent, and
they need to play.
They do, and that's what. And I hope with the takeover as well that the academy isn't just neglected for an amount of Turkish players coming in and new signings, because we've got this newfound ambition. The academy has given the club a lot of joy over the past few years, and I hope that the funding is increased, not emphasis on it relaxed.
Well, I'm pretty sure in his talks with EHAB that EHAB will have just, the whole reason that they invested in the youth academy was because they wanted us to become a selling club. They wanted us to produce players on the cheap and sell them off for a good price. Pretty sure that will have been a discussion topic between Action and EHAB. It'll have been like, look, mate, this thing we've sort of invested in. There's a lot of good players coming out of there that'll earn you quite a bit of buck if you get them in team. So I can't imagine he'd downgrade it in any sense. It wouldn't make financial sense also to him or the club. Like I say, there isn't many players that you'd like that we want to go necessarily. I think there might be a case for someone like maybe Eves at the moment, just because he's not playing.
If we do get a striker, then maybe.
I will park in front of his drive. He is not leaving.
he deserves better, though. He needs to be playing somewhere.
He does.
Yeah, if he's not playing here, I would like to see him play somewhere else.
At his level, maybe. So maybe League 2 or something.
Right. No, we're not having that. That's a bad comment. Booted Nathaniel from the... God, that was...
I'm half joking. Don't worry, I'm half joking.
Half joking.
Half joking.
I think... Is it right then? I didn't read the article that I saw, but have we got about 8 or 9 players that are due to expire contracts at the end of the season? Is it
millions of them, all of them?
Because usually that sort of article comes up, but we've got the option for to trigger another year, so it's not really expiring.
That extension on them.
Yeah, so it wouldn't even necessarily really be expiring. I know Honeyman's one of them.
Elder, Mcginnis, others. Anyone we signed 2
years ago, innit, I think.
From what I can see on here is Huddleston, Mcginnis, Smallwood, Eves, Ingram, Honeyman, Elder, Mclaughlin, Emmanuel, Baxter from his loan, Smith from his loan, Wilkes, Longman and Bernard each from their loans. We have options on Wilkes, Emmanuel, Elder, Honeyman, Ingram, and Eves. Oh, and Huddleston.
Pretty certain all those options will probably be.
Yeah.
All those options will be activated.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Yeah. I think we'll be all right then, contractually. I mean, I'd like us to see it, like we've said it before, we'd like us to maybe sign Bernard and Baxter permanently, Longman, if we've got the funds to do so as well.
I don't think we will.
Actually, that's given me an idea, so I'm going to throw a tough question in. So out of the three, Baxter, Bernard, and Longman, you can only sign two of them permanently. Who are we signing?
Sign Longman twice. Well, Bernard.
You bastard.
Bernard and Longman, because Baxter is good keeper, but like Ingram's good as well. Whereas if you take Bernard out, we haven't got another obvious centre back option, perhaps.
I might have to agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, because it's the only correct answer, Will.
Right, okay, then Bernard and Baxter.
How dare you?
What about you, Joe?
I would sign all three and more.
That wasn't an option.
But to answer your question,
I agree.
to answer your question, I probably would go for Bernard and Longman.
Good. That's the right answer.
Yeah, but I mean, Ingram kept the scorelines down a lot earlier this year, and I love Baxter, don't get me wrong, but he's still got his dream of playing for Chelsea. Bernard has, of course, still with Man United, but for Longman, I think it looks
Brighton.
I think it looks quite far, the distance of him from getting to Brighton, from where he is now as a player, getting into Brighton's first team, purely because they have the ambition that they want to have in the most respectful way to Longman possible.
So you think that Bernard and Baxter have a better chance of playing for Chelsea and Man United?
Hang on.
I think Longman's got the biggest chance of cracking into his parent.
I think I phrased that wrong. The clubs will want to keep hold of Baxter and Bernard more than I think Brighton will want to keep hold of Longman.
I do think Man U want to keep hold of Bernard.
Yeah, I think they want to keep all of them. I mean, because
surely Baxter must be getting somewhat sick of now. How old is he?
Yeah, but that was going to be my point. You've also got to look at the status of like the first team at the minute for them teams. Realistically, Man United's defensive line at the minute is terrible. You look at Lindelof and Bailly,
he's walking right now.
Like liabilities at the minute. They're going to give Maguire's not at his usual standards. They've brought Varane in, who's still getting used to the Premier League. They'll probably want some young up-and-coming defender that's going to be able to step in if need be. Chelsea, in a goalkeeper sense, they stockpile players anyway. They've probably got about 6 other goalkeepers ready to be in that position. He'd be the most realistic player, I think, that we would be able to sign, especially considering he's like...
Baxter's 23, and Bernard and Longman are both 21.
Yeah, well, Baxter 23 is younger for a goalkeeper, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's quite young for a keeper.
Yeah, and it's kind of at the stage now, I think, Baxter, where he needs to be finding a permanent team instead of going out on loan every season. Because if he goes to another side and does well, he can end up bringing himself back into the Premier League anyway, and possibly getting moved to a big club at 28, 29 when he hits his prime, kind of thing.
Yeah,
but Longman, I think. I don't know. It's a tough one with Brighton, isn't it? I mean, they did it with. You got to look at like Ben White, who only really had one decent season with Leeds, and they were quoting like ridiculous amount, 50 million quid he went to Arsenal for. So, he's young and English. Is it? They would probably try and chat. I don't think we'd be able to afford Longman personally. I think Brighton would quote us something silly like 10 million.
And he's an attacker, so it'll cost more.
Yeah. So realistically, I think our easiest chance would be Bernard and Baxter, just based on that, because I think.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah. So that would be my logical.
If you know who Bernard is, that's the That's the sort of big thing because he's.
Although let's be honest, we've had 6 good games.
Yeah.
Like, we shouldn't get too carried away thinking, oh, they're going to strut into the, these Champions League, Premier League teams after 6 games. So let's give it a little while.
Well, Bernard's had a good season so far, to be fair. And his previous season was in League 2 with Salford. So it's quite a big step up, and he sort of took it right in his stride. So that's a plus, but also that's a con, really, because if he can make that sort of step up, man, you'll be like, maybe we should keep him, kind of thing. But this is all hypothetical anyway, so it doesn't matter, does it? It was just a fun question. So we've pretty much covered everything then at the minute. We've got the Christmas special, obviously. I think we forgot to mention that in the last episode. Coming up, the 3 versus 3 Christmas trivia quiz against our Aussie friends. Nathaniel, Will and Joel.
Remind me when that's supposed to be.
It's the 20th, Monday the 20th, I think. Was it 8 or 9? I'll have to double check the graphic. I think it's at 9 because it's 9 o'clock in the morning their time. So it'll actually be on Tuesday for the Australians. It'll be on Monday for us, which is weird. A time travel episode.
Very fun.
So we've got that episode to look forward to. Like I say, the new sponsor, they're going to probably do a couple more giveaways, so do keep an eye out for that. We have got another couple of surprises in the pipeline to hopefully announce at some point in the new year, and a very special guest, if I can get that over the line. I'm going to say whilst touching.
It's a surprise for us as well.
It's a surprise for these guys as well, because I think it's going to be a good one.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be a good one. It'll be quite surreal speaking to him on the phone.
Tune in for those.
But yeah, keep an eye out. Thanks for everybody for joining me, you 3. Good luck on your YouTube channel, Joe. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Do make sure.
Can I plug a little giveaway I'm doing on my own socials?
Will this go out tomorrow morning?
It shall.
It shall. Okay. So this goes out Tuesday. The giveaway for this hand-signed Keane Lewis Potter little autograph card thing. He designed by myself, hand-signed by the man himself. Before the game the other day. Ends on Wednesday. If you head over to my Instagram, which is at old_grandpa.job, you can see the details on my most recent post there on how to enter and to be in with a chance of winning that. So go ahead if you want. If you don't.
Yeah. Might enter that. Might as well. Quite fancy one of them for the wall, I think. Maybe.
No point doing a giveaway. One of us will have it.
Yeah. Just give it us. So yeah, head over to that. And to that, if you'd like a hand-signed Keane Lewis Potter graphics card, was that kind of thing?
Sort of autograph card thing. Yeah. And I've got more coming up throughout the year as well. So keep your eyes out, viewers, listeners. Yeah.
I mean, hopefully we can do a few more giveaways. I mean, I've got some old Hull City stuff that I think we might be getting rid of. I've got a few signed footballs and that I can't really fit anywhere because the missus won't let me. So I might give them away. So keep an eye out for them. But like I said, thanks for watching, everyone. Do head over to our new sponsor, check them out. And thanks for everyone here today joining me on the episode. And we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.